Alright, I'm pissed.
Or I'm a little pissed.
Because something that's kind of been building up inside me has been this animosity, this pure rage towards one very particular aspect of the gaming industry that's very, very important. Next gen. What does next gen mean? What does it represent? Why
am I so disappointed by it?
I remember when the PS5 got announced, I was losing my mind. I had never gotten into the PS4. I didn't have an avenue to play any of those games, so to me, this was it. This was the big one. And I remember getting it, I was excited, and I got to play all these games that I never got to play. PS4 games, I'm gonna make that very clear. These were PS4 games I never got to play. That's pretty important for the story. Put a little pin in that. And then a couple more years pass, and then the Steam Deck gets announced.
I don't think it was actually a couple, it might have been like a couple months.
But anyway, the Steam Deck gets announced, and it's basically all I've ever wanted in a system. It's a portable PS4. It's basically the Switch Pro I always wanted, except now I don't even need to pay that much for most of the games. There is no Switch tax. The Steam Deck has everything I'd ever want, all in a very, not exactly tiny, more like cumbersome package.
That's what she said!
But you can still take it with you on the go. That's kind of cool. And as the Steam Deck came out, I began playing on it more and more. And as I started playing on my Switch again, because after I got the PS5, I remember I wasn't really touching my Switch. I was like, alright, I've had enough of you. But then I started using it again, and I was like,
oh right, this thing is incredible. I kind of forgot.
And as I moved into college, moved into my dorm, I wasn't allowed to bring my PS5. Because, well, that shit, you cannot hide a PS5 when you're going to your dorm. That thing is like the leaning tower of nerd shit, okay? You are gonna get mugged somehow, okay? You're a walking lick the moment you bring that thing into the dorms. So I ended up just bringing the Steam Deck and my Switch. And I was under the assumption like, oh, well, I could always do cloud streaming. I cannot do cloud streaming in my dorm. The PS5's Wi-Fi, for some reason, I don't know if this is my we're getting into the ranty portion of this now. I don't know if this is my PS5 or just a known issue with their network, but for some reason, the servers are so bad. I never get to cloud stream on this thing. It sucks, and when it does work, it works horribly. And this is made all the worse by the fact that they released an entire product, an entire handheld, the PlayStation Portal, with the one selling point being that you can cloud stream your games on the go if you have a Wi-Fi connection, and if you don't, there is nothing you can do with that thing. That thing is a brick. It is useless. But that's all fine. That's fine. You know what? Whatever. I'll use it when I go back home. That's alright. I'll use the PS5 as a luxury, you know? But man, I have not been using that thing. The thing with the PS5 is, it's probably one of the most inconvenient systems I've played. Because, for number one, the battery life on the controller. What's going on, Sony? You have all these cool features packed into this controller, and then you have all these very stupid, not that useful features. Like, why is there a touchpad? Why are there lights everywhere? The only thing that's useful is the rumble. That's the only thing where I'm like, whoa, this feels next gen. It feels like I'm really there. And the Switch has had that for years at this point, and this thing never dies on me. I don't know what black magic they pulled where the Switch Pro controller just doesn't die, but this thing has a whole 3DS battery in it, and I can leave it on my desk for days on end, and then I'll play something and I'll be totally fine. Not to mention, if it is dead, there are Joy-Cons on my Switch. I'm chilling either way. On the PS5, I have two controllers, and they are both constantly dead no matter how much I charge them. But fine, you know what? That doesn't have to do with the actual system itself. But where are the games? Sony, what happened? I was promised games.
Where did they go?
The only exclusives that haven't been ported to PS4 are like Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank 2. These are games I don't care that much about. Spider-Man is the only one where I'm like, okay, well, I would buy that. But Sony games go on sale so often and come to PC so often that I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why am I going to make the dumb mistake of buying this at launch when I could just buy it like 2 to 3 years from now and it'd be like $10? Or it'll just be on Steam Deck. I felt so ripped off over the past couple of years from buying games like Miles Morales at launch because they had just ended up being on a platform I'd use more. So now they're just like, it's just like a brick in my house. Like, I barely use it. But alright, Sony, I'm hearing you out. I hear what you're cooking. You're saying there's gonna be games in the future. You're saying you got next-gen experiences on the way.
That really hurt my throat. I shouldn't have done that voice. I'm gonna get more Snapple.
But okay, Sony, I hear what you're saying. Here's the thing. All the exclusives are mid. And a lot of them are remakes. Remakes of PS4 games. Are they real?
I'm getting real close to the camera, but
Why are we remaking The Last of Us Part 1 and 2? Why do we need that? They look the same. Not to mention, these remakes are expensive as hell. Spider-Man cost $20 million or something to produce a remaster for. What? All you need to do is bump up the frame rate and add some little reflections. How did that cost
$20 million fucking dollars?
I don't know, man. Why do I have a PS5? Give me a reason. Give me one reason as to why it is worth it to buy a PS5 when the Steam Deck is the same price, if not cheaper, and the Switch is like way cheaper. I ended up buying most of my 2023 games, including the ones that were multi-platform, on Switch. I didn't even buy them on Steam. I bought them on Switch. Because at the end of the day, that convenience is just so much more useful to me. I don't care about the little, oh, I'm gonna have only 30 instead of 60 FPS. I don't, that sacrifice is so much more worth it if I'm actually gonna play the games. What reason does the PS5 give other than slightly higher frame rates and slightly better looking games? The jump in graphics has gotten smaller and smaller over the years, and I feel like we're at a point where I am okay with the bar being PS4, alright? We got Red Dead 2, we got Last of Us 2, a lot of 2s, and you know what? I'm good with that. Just let that be the bar, okay? Because now it's getting to a point where it is such a huge financial risk to make a game. You are actively putting your studio in so much danger. If you make an expensive game and that shit flops, it is over for you. Why is that worth it? Why can't I just have my fugly looking games that are actually fun, that don't require massively overpriced and overpowered systems to run? The whole system is out of whack, okay? PS5's out of whack. The Series X, I don't even think I've talked about the Series X yet, but oh my god, I don't know what Xbox is doing. I feel so bad for Phil Spencer. That boy seems like he's trying. He seems like he's trying a lot, and he is not cooking in the stew. He is not cooking. Redfall, bro. What happened? Hi, I just wanted to jump in and clarify that this video was recorded way before the Arcane and Tango Gameworks layoffs, and that I no longer feel bad for Phil Spencer. It seems like he's got to be the biggest PlayStation fan in the world, because there is no other way to justify his behavior. Anyway, back to the show. Also, like and subscribe, you fuck. I'm gonna close off this video with just a plea. Please, for the love of God, release more games on PS5, and just you don't need to make them massive, crazy, realistic looking. Just make smaller looking game. Make weirder looking game. I miss weird games. You remember Parappa the Rapper? I miss him. Where did he go?
What you gonna do when they come? You gotta do what? You gotta do what? I gotta believe.
I want cool stuff, man. I don't want this. I want something to do with this brick. This massive brick in the house. I want something to do with it. Alright, that's been me. I'll see you all later. Bye.